So it was easy. But we were supposed to now have that conversation properly, now the three of us, because Francis had had the conversation with Issa.
Now you had it with you?
Then me had had it with him. Then Francis mentioned it when we were with Issa. But then now the plan was, let's now sit down and discuss this further.
Okay, so tell us now then about the day he passes.
That Sunday, I can't remember who called me. Either it was, I think it was Banda. I think it was Banda who called me. It was Banda who called me, then Francis. You know, you feel like driving to Nakuru to check for yourself. But then you can't feel your legs. Okay, I know it sounds, but you can't feel your legs. Issa was legend is an understatement. Arguably, Issa would have been bigger than Diamond.
Yep, not arguably. It's true.
And I'll tell you why arguably. Issa, have you watched, are you a fan of comedy, stand-up comedy?
Kidogo. Depends on who.
There's a stand-up comedy session by Steve Harvey, where he talks about the role that a stand-up comedian plays in society. And he talks about the way a stand-up comedian tells you a story that you already know, but he tells it to you different because he's blessed with a third eye.
Yeah, I've seen
Issa
that.
had that about life, and the talent and artistry that he would deliver with it on paper was just like, I think I only was in one session, a writing session, where they were vibing with Big Pin. Either Joe or another song.
Maybe the one with K-Rapt. Is it?
Actually, yes, two songs, because there's that one with K-Rapt, and then there's that one with where Big Pin does some ad-libs. Is it Big Pin who does some ad-libs on his, or Issa does some ad-libs on Big Pin? Big Pin talked about it on his CTA. By the way, do you know, for a very long time, that song with Issa, Big Pin and K-Rapt, how does it start? Who starts it?
Forgotten.
Okay, who ends it? Big Pin. With his Django verse. Do you know, for a very long time, the version that played and was a big deal, and it had a huge effect, was a version that started with Big Pin.
Then?
For a very long time, that's the version that used to be played by DJs.
Yeah.
DJs, I don't think they even know where it came from.
Where did it come from?
John.
His my remixes.
Kabisa. And it started with a scratch, wheel, something that was just amazing. Anyway, so I didn't get the opportunity to be in many sessions with him.
Dude, but you were in a session.
Yeah.
So, you hear he passes, what do you do? Can you remember?
So now, at that point, the concern was Nameless and what's this guy's name?
Because two guys passed in that thing, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, but then there was someone else. I think there were four of them. There's someone else who was in the accident also, who survived with Nameless. So the concern at that point was Nameless. I mean, because Nameless is the guy who we knew.
Yeah.
So what it felt like, and this I think was conveyed by my conversation with Francis. Our guys are out there. Things have happened, massive things. Nameless is all alone there to handle it. Press have started knowing about it. So phone calls have started coming to us to ask what's going on. So of course, at this point, you can't call Francis. You don't even know Francis exists as a journalist. Oh no. You can't call Lucas because first of all,
you don't even have his number.
And you know,
yep.
You probably won't get through to him. So you can call who? Banda. Who else can you call? Fakii.
Yeah.
Now, these are the days when you can't keep calling Nameless because of the situation he's in to get details just for you to pass on to journalists.
Yes.
Because also you have to manage a conversation of where is Habib? Where is the mom?
Yeah.
Where is Mamu, the sister?
And when I left the house, because I was like a big brother, so the mom was to also be concerned. Are you mutakuwa Nameless? Yes. So when we were going to Nakuru, she had asked and I met. It's like, oh, you guys are going there. So it was that thing of you guys will take care.
Yeah, take care of
big
my
bro,
son.
take care.
Issa alikuwa ni mtu mzuri sana na mtu anamcha Mungu sana. Sana. Familia yetu imekuwa ikipenda Mungu, kwa hivyo kweli nimepotelewa. Ndio na kitu kikubwa. Lakini nimebaki na Habibu, maana sina mtoto mwingine wa kiume, sasa ni Habibu.
I remember my wife telling me, because I didn't realize it, but my wife was telling me I changed after that time, but more guarded. You get like relationships, because you realize they just end. They can just end. So you just, but I never realized that happened. Someone was telling me, she told me like after a few years, like, hey, there's a way you are, like you're there, but you're just. So I realized that could have been, some psychological things you don't realize unless someone now tells you. And, even in his family, there are things, maybe sister or someone will say, I've never really dealt with it because of how big he was in my life. Because in their family, he was really like backbone in terms of his leadership, what he was doing in the family, stuff like that.
Issa was a wonderful person. He wanted me to follow in his steps. He always advised me. Even before he went, he was still telling me, like, if I'm to go today, I'm the one who'll take care of everything in the house. So his last wish was that I should go on with my studies and take his music somewhere.
So now, Francis somehow managed with family. Then at some point we even thought of driving down that way. But I think now they were all brought this way. But it was such a difficult moment. I'm in a group with kina Nameless, Mudhoni Buika, Habib, Talia, Lenny, and a few other guys. And every year we plan to go visit his grave.
By the way, today is Issa's birthday.
Yeah, I saw that. 40. Actually, I had a conversation with Nameless this morning about it.
He'll be 40 today.
Yeah.
Yo.
So, I've actually never made it to go to the graveside.
Yo.
I don't know if it's by natural design that there's always something happening that I can't go. Every year in the group, guys, we are going on this day. I plan, something happens. It's like my soul doesn't want to see him in his final resting place, because I feel like there was so much I would have achieved with him. So much.
That's deep.
So it still pains me.
There's too much what if.
Yes, there's too much what if. Actually, that's the thing. There's too much what if.
There's something you said that you think arguably he could have been bigger than Diamond. Why did you use the word arguably?
There's been a big shift in Kenya from hip hop moving towards R&B. Look at Nyash.
Yeah.
Calligraph might be headed that way.
Jones.
Yes. So it depends on if he would have also
Done that.
gone that way.
But he already did. He moved from Joe to Joshua Tiriga.
Yeah. But you could tell that he still wanted to drop rhymes.
Bars.
You know.
Bars.
And let me tell you, the other guy who it was painful for him to go was K-Rapt.
Again, that's somebody you knew.
Yes. And somebody I worked with. Do you know that song, K-Rapt, Twende Tukawake? When he talks about Nation, Capital FM and Nation FM, it takes people a while to realize what he's saying. Because he talks about a time check kwenye radio. Then he says 98.4, 96.4. That's Capital FM and Nation FM. It's the same way for Issa when he talks about Wengula Tisa inatufikisha. He's talking about Cloud 9. But it takes some time before people relate.
We just sing so.
We just sing, but we don't realize what they are. So they had some deepness in them. And I think that deepness would have really gone far.
Man, those guys were legendary.
Really, really far. So that was a painful moment.
Okay. Fakii, we've gone down a rabbit hole. What? Even me, I'm shocked. But coming back, all of this, how we ended up entering this rabbit hole. And that's why I tell guys, sometimes it's good when I interfere when people are talking.
Yeah.
Because some of these stories would have just missed out on. All of this started because of Bandsoft and the music that you are creating.
Yes.
And you are trying to explain how the costs and the expenses and the artists that were taking. And I was asking you about whether we as the audience had started getting to the level of appreciating locals and buying their music.
It was very sad when we closed down. Like people were not happy. We got emails and emails and emails. People complaining, asking. In fact, some people said, now you're causing us to go back to piracy. Us guys want to pay for this thing because we want the artists to win. But now you guys have closed down. What they didn't understand was the reason why we closed down.
You're operating at a loss.
But we were still pushing. Let me tell you, Bandsoft really held my hand at that point. Bandsoft, do you remember an SMS promotion kitambo that was on, I think it was KTN. It was a national promotion, a major thing. And a lady won the big prize, either $1 million or a car. But there were issues with the hubby. Anyway, it was a major SMS promotion. Now, Bandsoft those days used to do, like, you know those things on news, send an SMS to Nini, all those platforms were his. Nation,
Beat.
Standard,
Yes.
Beat, Nini, Kila Kitu, all of them were his. So while we were seated in the office, you just used to see, he had another computer there that used to sit there that you could just see all those SMSs running. Now for me, I used to look at them as 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling. So I was like, wow. Yani, you're saying, even when we leave here to go home, this computer is still running. 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling. So luckily, that's what used to end up sustaining us. So he was generous to the point. Bandsoft used to drive a car, a Nissan Sunny, was it called B14? KAE289H. I remember. We used to call it Sandak. I don't know why he used to call it Sandak. When Bandsoft bought another car, he gave me that car.
What do you mean give?
He gave me that. Not that he like transferred and nini, but that was now my car. Like he was here. This is the car now you'll be operating from, using.
Yeah.
And even when I was stuck, he used to fuel it for me. Service used to do it for me, but that was my car. For over 1 year, that was my car. And then Bandsoft hated traveling. So I think that the way we got into it, I mean, he hated driving. So even before he bought his other car,
it was your...
I used to be the one driving all the time. Like I would drive him everywhere. But you see, this is the guy who's now taking care of my bills.
Yeah.
Because at that time, we are still not
making
making
money.
MomeBoyz.
You're not making money, yeah.
Yeah. And he supported me to the point where now I started being able to support myself with especially now the hustle gigs from Ogopa.
So, okay, that's a good one. So after, in this era of Bandsoft, now your way of making income came through Ogopa.
Yes.
So Ogopa wasn't a stint. Ogopa became, and when you say your hustle, it meant getting artist shows.
Yes.
Now you entered all out, not even management. This is almost like, it's not PR, it's promotion almost.
Yes.
It's not, you became a guy to find the gigs for the artists and you make your cut.
When Trust Condoms were doing promos,
no way.
Simia is the one who was running to Scanad to tell Scanad, what shall we show you who can do these things?
What?
So remember the first phase had been done by what's his name? By Nameless. And
Prezo was
I think Prezo was also in that first phase. Then now they needed to do a second phase. So they called Ogopa, Francis. Like, so we want to do another one. So who would you? So me and Francis go to Scanad. We present. We say, we have these 3 guys. Just released a few singles. Young guys. Kids will relate to them. Kleptomaniacs. Then we have these other guys. They're a bit older, but also guys will relate to them, called vultures. So we go, we cut the deals. You know, at that time, Scanad had a standard fee that they were paying every artist who was on those promos. Whether you're 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, same fee. Except Vultures and Klepto, who got a bit more because we hustled with Francis to get those deals. So now when those checks were coming out, I'd get like a big check here. You go, you pay rent for like 3, 4, 5 months. You know, at least you know you're sorted for a while.
In Kenya, this was almost like the pioneering stage or the beginning stage of corporate Kenya's relationship with creative.
Yes.
Especially urban music. You mentioned Klepto. Bro, when did Klepto check in?
Klepto, 2000 and